the tush push is to the NFL as Instagram is to teenagers. Complete poison.
All right, everybody, welcome back. As always, I am your party host, Joe Rivera, and along with me, as always, is one of the preeminent ball knowers at USA Today Sports, and that's Chris Bumbaca. Boom. We had quite the Sunday in the NFL, my friend. I mean, we had injuries. We had Jacoby Brissett completing 47 passes. We had Jamar Chase spitting on Jalen Ramsey, but we have to talk about a certain AFC North quarterback coming in relief, leading his team, and that is Mason Rudolph, not the other guy in Cleveland. Boom, what was your biggest takeaway from yesterday's games?
Yeah, a lot of close ones. We complain when there are blowouts, Joe, but we got to shout out the league and the product for when there are these exciting finishes. This is the entertainment we're all looking for. 5 teams winning on their final snap of the game with game-winning field goals. You had 7 teams who were trailing in the fourth quarter who went on to win. That's what I'm talking about, man. And yeah, we had some injuries throughout the day. We'll learn more throughout this week, so we're not going to get too deep into it, but names like Michael Penix Jr., Josh Jacobs in Green Bay, obviously, as you mentioned, Aaron Rodgers, and Dylan Gabriel in Cleveland, which led to the Shedeur Sanders NFL debut, which was very interesting. But also want to take a quick second to say that we're thinking and praying for Chris Boyd, the New York Jets player who was shot over the weekend and as of this recording remains in critical but stable condition. So we're thinking of him and the Jets.
Yeah, and also big shout out to Bernie Kosar getting his liver transplant. So hope for a speedy recovery there. I think we have to touch on Shedeur real quick. Boom. I mean, what is there to glean from yesterday's performance? Is there anything there, any takeaway at all? Or is it just you know what, he came in relief, tough spot, just burn the tape and move on?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of jump to some quick conclusions, but then maturity kind of kicked in the very little bit that I have, and basically was like, all right, let's take a step back here. It's this guy's NFL debut. He clearly has not participated in any sort of meaningful practice time with the starters on this offense. Kevin Stefanski said as much at his post-game news conference. Shedeur was alluding to it the entire time, saying like, yeah, I've never really thrown a ball to Jerry Jeudy before, so taking that aside, that's like a Cleveland Browns issue, not as much of a Shedeur issue. There were times that the Ravens blitzed him, and he looked literally like a deer in the headlights. And then, he made some really nice throws on that final drive in which they almost tied the game. So I'm not going to jump to any conclusions here. I mean, it is what it is. He's a 5th-round quarterback for a reason.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, Boom. And speaking of non-entertainment or games that we thought were going to be entertaining but not, let's talk about Sunday Night Football now. Potential NFC Championship game preview between the Philadelphia Eagles and Detroit Lions. Lions made a lot of headlines this past week. Dan Campbell taking over offensive play calling again, but they could only muster 9 points yesterday against the Philadelphia defense. So, again, what do you take away from Sunday Night Football last night, Boom? And Eagles, again, another perplexing team this season. Detroit Lions kind of going through peaks and valleys. What's your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have too many takeaways. I was hoping I would have more data sets to go off of, but it was kind of like a boring game in my opinion. I think Dan Campbell kind of has to trust his defense a little bit more and go for some of these field goals instead of always trying to score touchdowns when his team's in the red zone. I think that cost his team last night. It's not the first time, but at least when it's happened in the past, he's kind of had the grounds of my defense is bad, my offense is this team's strength, like I need to lean into this. But I don't think that's the case with his 2025 team. Not that the Eagles offense has been exemplary over the last few weeks or so, but I think the defense is actually the strong suit of this Lions team at the moment, and Dan Campbell needs to kind of reassess some of the way he's going about things.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Boom. And with the Eagles, I mean, still trying to figure it out a little bit, right? Is it time to, I don't want to say panic. Panic is not the right word when you're winning games, right? But AJ Brown, again, he was pretty vocal this on the Twitch stream. He has the meeting with Jeffrey Lurie, owner of the Eagles, to try and hash things out or say, I won't be public about it anymore. What's your vibe? What do you take away from that?
Yeah, I mean, when those things are happening, that's just the sign that things are not normal, right? Like your star wide receiver does not meet with the team owner to discuss said star wide receivers social media musings and public comments about the state of the team. Um, I mean, it just feels like we're all headed towards a breakup here. I don't know if that's going to be this offseason. Like, I think that's my general takeaway is that AJ Brown is not long for Philadelphia. Um, will they get another Super Bowl ring before he departs? I mean, honestly, maybe. But is that even what AJ Brown wants at this point? That pass interference call last night, Joe, really set me off almost as much as it did Chris Collinsworth. Shout out to Chris for really laying into the refs there. And it was a ref show the entire game. I meant to make this point at the top when we were talking about this, but the Jameson Williams unsportsmanlike call for his touchdown celebration, he didn't dunk it. He just hugged the goalpost, and then Bates misses the 48-yard extra point. That took the entire mojo out of the game for the Lions, in my opinion, and just made for a worse overall viewing experience on the part of the fans. So if the refs went in with the intention of making it all about themselves, congratulations to them.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the refs this year, Boom. Like I can't figure it out for the life of me between the bad calls, between again ref show to your point to missing call. Like I understand football is a very difficult game to officiate because it's fast, right? And so many times us as the viewers are watching these replays and saying, we're breaking it down frame by frame and saying, yeah, that's obviously a pass interference. You see him holding it, but like I understand that's a difficult job for an NFL referee, but taunting, getting involved, making it about yourself, taking forever to make a call. Like you figured that these guys would have it figured out, right? And they just haven't. And if you're the NFL, you can't be too pleased with the way that this is unfolded this season, right? Like I don't know what else is there to say. Like we've talked about the refs. I mean, they missed the false starts on the tush push. Pass interference has been a plague on the league for years now. And whether a ball is uncatchable, if that rule is still even a thing anymore, like I don't know where the NFL goes with these referees anymore, man. Like, do you burn it down? Do you make this a full-time job? Like, what's the solution? Because I don't know.
What do you think of the theory that the tush push false starts are being missed so that way the refs have an argument during the offseason of being like, this actually is way too hard to officiate?
I love it. I love it. I love a good conspiracy theory in sports, man. Like I really do. Like, and listen, we've talked about the tush push boom, and we're not fans of it, right? Like the NFL doesn't. I think ultimately the NFL is an entertainment product, right? Sports are not entertainment; they are entertaining. But there's a reason that they push extra points back because they were damn near automatic, right? Like the NFL doesn't want a moment in their game for the viewers to say, "Oh well, this is an automatic," right? So the tush push falls in that category now where it is just about automatic. So I listen, if the refs aren't calling it to have it removed from the game, if they're missing these false starts on purpose, like cool. Like that I love the conspiracy theory. I don't know how true it is, but I'm down with it. I'm cool with it. So we'll see. We'll see
The
what
tush
happens this
push,
offseason.
the tush push is to the NFL as Instagram is to teenagers. Complete poison.
All right, boom. We're heading to week 12, and there's enough sample size around the NFL to make some conclusions and draw some conclusions, and nothing leads to conclusions more than debate, right? So let's talk a little bit about a few things. Which is worse, right? So I'm going to give you two scenarios here for this first one. You got to tell me, boom, which one do you find to be worse? So the first one that we have here is JJ McCarthy's game yesterday or Sam Darnold's week 11 performance. Which do you find to be worse?
Man, it's tough to be worse than 4 interceptions, but I'm actually going with McCarthy here because of I think when we look back at this tape, it's going to be really bad, Joe. Like the Bears defense is not that good in my opinion. Like I think that there was definitely an opportunity for McCarthy and head coach Kevin O'Connell to put him in these positions to make these throws, and he kind of did, but McCarthy was just missing them. He didn't have a completion in the second half until that final drive, which actually gave his team the lead. So it looks like all of this is going to be a race. He plays another good fourth quarter against the Bears. They come out with a win. Of course, shout out to the Bears for kicking a game-winning field goal. They're now 7-3, pretty impressive. But yeah, I'm going with McCarthy. There's issues going on in Minnesota. That's not
Uh,
where you want to be.
Yeah, I hear you, Boom, but I'm gonna have to disagree because I think Darnold is worse here.
Fair.
Now, listen. I think McCarthy, I guess, for all intents and purposes, is a rookie, right? Because he missed his entire first season. Listen, there is value in holding a clipboard. I'm not sure how much I buy that, but I understand that one game doesn't make or break a season, but one game can be emblematic of a career. And I think that's what you saw yesterday with Sam Darnold, right? You have two teams on a 4-game win streak. Seahawks have to make a statement in the NFC West, and Darnold starts seeing ghosts again, right? And I've seen this throughout his career where, like, big moments, listen, unless you're talking about the Rose Bowl back when he was still at USC, like, big moments just seem to escape him. Like, he can't seem to just grab it. And you saw it at the end of last season, week 18 against I forget who they played in week 18, but the Lions, and then the first game of the playoffs. And you say to yourself, like, oh man, like, is this actually the Sam Darnold that we're going to see moving forward? Right. So he's had a wonderful season. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this is going to destroy his season, but I think you look at it a little bit side-eyed and say, man, maybe that data is starting to creep back in, whether or not Sam Darnold is actually going to be your guy moving forward. The guy to win you playoff games, the guy to win you Super Bowl. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a leap for Sammy D is winning those clutch games. And yet, I think that's the main thing. It's like the 4 interceptions isn't the surprise, but the fact that we just haven't seen him do it in a big time game really is the more concerning aspect there. All right, second topic here for which is worse: the Chiefs not winning the AFC West, Joe, or the Chargers not making the playoffs at all.
Man, this is tough. I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs not winning the AFC West, Boom. And our colleague over at USA Today Sports, Nick Brinkerhoff, brought up a really jarring figure. Patrick Mahomes has a $78 million cap hit for 2026. Right now, we know the cap's not real. They'll probably kick that can down the road. It'll be alleviated in some way. But when you're the Chiefs, and last season we saw them go 11-0 undefeated in one score games, and then this season you're 0-5 in one score games, and those are all 5-year losses. Like, it's a little alarming, and there's a lot of things here to me that go into it. It's pretty mediocre drafts for a few years now. It's Mahomes and the offense not looking quite as crisp as they usually do. I mean, there were times yesterday during that game that where Mahomes on a third down, like, just stood there, didn't scramble, didn't trust what he was seeing, and that's a little concerning to me. So I'm going to say, the AFC West not belonging to the Chiefs this year is probably worse than the Chargers missing the playoffs entirely.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's the Chiefs' division to lose as long as Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback there and not coming out on top against this Denver Broncos team with Bo Nix at quarterback is, I think, a stain kind of on what this
Okay,
dynasty is for them. Not to take anything. I'm going to take a little bit away from the Broncos and Bo Nix, but that's
that's
fine.
fine. That's fine.
Uh, in terms of the Chargers, though, Joe, like this is a team that wants to run the ball. They have their two best offensive linemen out for the season. They have their starting running back out, so they can't do that. Justin Herbert is good sometimes, but not all the time. Like, that defense is good sometimes, but not all the time. I think the Chargers are one of the most inconsistent squads we have in the NFL. So them not making the playoffs is wouldn't be crazy to me, but they are lucky that they got out to a nice start this season in that effort.
All right, boom. Let's move to the AFC North and the NFC North here. And Aaron Rodgers leaves yesterday's game with a wrist injury. Jordan Love, always he's going through his injuries of his own. So, what do we think? Which is worse, not having an 100% healthy Aaron Rodgers or an 100% healthy Jordan Love?
I mean, it's this one I think is like pretty obvious. I think it's got to be Rodgers, right? That entire system is kind of built around his desire to get that ball out quickly, and the drop off to Mason Rudolph is so severe that it really actually, I think, could impact the Steelers in a way that they don't make the playoffs as a 6 or 7 seed, which is how I've kind of just slotted them since July, August. Now with Rudolph, I just don't think that's even possible.
Hmm. You know what? This is almost 50-50 for me, boom. I'm going to have to disagree with you though here, because the Steelers offense hasn't looked great this year with Rodgers as it is. Mason Rudolph comes in. Listen, I understand it's Mason Rudolph. I understand it's one half of play, but they still went on to win in a blowout yesterday. So, like, are you actually missing that much? I mean, Rodgers before the injury, his average depth of target was like 5.8 yards, right? So, like, we know it's the same song and dance with Rodgers this year. He's going to protect the ball. There's no denying that he still has a live arm. He can still make plays, but I don't think he's been Rodgers of old. But Jordan Love, he gets banged up yesterday with the left shoulder. He comes back in the game and he shows you why the Packers trusted him with that much money, right? I'm still not like fully bought in on Jordan Love, but I just think that if you don't have him at 100%, like he's the one thing you can really hang your hat on this year. Similar to what you were saying about the Chargers, like that defense is good. The Packers defense is good. Like sometimes it's not good all of the time this year. Like they've still been good, but like not they're consistently inconsistent, right? And I think without Jordan Love steering that offense with those weapons, like Malik Willis is, he's filled in admirably, but I just think if you don't have 100% Jordan Love, that's going to hurt you more than having a quarterback on an offense that's not exactly working to its optimum position. So,
Yeah, but my thing with Rodgers Rudolph here is like if Aaron Rodgers' like image is within this offense, right? These are his desires. Like, what makes you think that Mason Rudolph is capable of running this? And they actually need offensive output because it's not like, oh, with defense and special teams, you're going to carry us like a traditional Steelers team. That has not been the case this year. So that's
right.
why I'm saying that the Rodgers situation is a little bit worse than if Love were to miss some extended time. All right, Joe, last one for which is worse, and it's a doozy. Joe, what's worse, getting spit on or punched in the face?
Yeah, this is an allusion to the Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase situation yesterday. Spitting is gross. Boom.
Idiots. They're
Like,
all idiots.
yeah, I mean, why don't punch people and don't do whatever, right? Spitting is gross. Like it's like you don't know what you're hocking up. Like a little bit of lunch, some phlegm in there. Like it's not at least the average person, if they're going to punch you, they're probably not all that strong, right? Like you're not running into Mike Tyson every day on the street, right? So I'm just going to say, just for the embarrassment, like spitting's got to be weird because there's that disrespect level there too. Like when you punch, like things can get heated, like, you fight your brothers kind of deal. But like, I don't know, the added disrespect that goes with getting spit on that makes it worse to me.
It's so disrespectful. It's something that, like, when I feel like we were growing up, if it happened, that was like just the furthest line you could cross. So I don't know what happened between generations there. And I mean, I was thinking about week one, right? I was there in Philly when Jalen Carter spit on Dak and was ejected before the game basically even started. But Jalen Carter thought that Dak was spitting at him. So that was like retaliatory. To do it unprovoked is just some of
Mm.
the most disturbed behavior we could have. So I think Jamar Chase definitely deserves to be suspended.
All right, boom. So we gave the viewers a little bit of which is worse, but let's give them a little which is better, right? We want to be a little positive and optimistic here, right? And let's start right off the bat. Broncos Chiefs big game yesterday. Bo Nix, 5 game winning drives this season. Josh Allen yesterday, 6 touchdowns in their win. Which is better? Bo Nix's 5 game winning drives or Josh Allen's 6 touchdowns yesterday?
Give me the reigning MVP's 6 touchdowns, Joe. That guy played out of his mind. It was good to see because we kind of been missing a signature vintage JA-17 showing, and we definitely got it against a Bucs defense that is way, way, way overrated, by the way. I know that there's injuries and stuff, but like Todd Bowles' defense, yikes. But yeah, three rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, even a couple turnovers in there for good measure. Just a classic Josh game. Give it to me every Sunday, Josh. So I'm gonna go with Josh's 6 touchdowns over over Bo Nix's 5 game winning drives. That's a tough clip right there.
We'll just let it go, but that's okay. I'm gonna boom. I'm gonna have to give it to Bo Nix here, man. Like, it's hard to win games in the NFL consistently. It's even harder to win games late and to steer an offense late. And listen, Bo Nix, we've slandered Bo Nix here, right? Like, he hasn't been great, but when it's mattered, he showed up and helped, right? Like the pass to Troy Franklin to win yesterday was perfect.
Awesome
Like
throw.
exactly awesome throw to beat the Chiefs. So I don't feel good about saying it. Like, I don't feel great. Like, we've seen Bo Nix so in spots just be incredibly offensively mid and just missing guys, overthrowing receivers, but again, coming by wins in the NFL, it's hard. It's difficult. So you're Bo Nix, you're helping win games the leading the AFC West, beating the boogeyman in the division and doing it with the game-winning drive. Like, more power to you.
Yeah, no, he definitely deserves some flowers for that last drive. You mentioned the Franklin throw, finding something a couple times, once on third down, I think another second down and 8 it was. So, just good ball by Bo there at the end. All right, our next one for which is better, Joe. The Bears being 7-3 for the first time since 2018, or the Ravens having a chance to go 500 for the first time this season next week against the Jets.
I mean, good, better, best. Never let it rest, right? Like Ben Johnson says, get
Let's
hyped
go.
up on a Monday. Get hyped
Let's
up on a
go.
Monday morning, man. Like, listen, I've said not favorable things about Bears fans and their fan base in the past, and maybe riding a little bit delusions here and there. But like, listen, when you have Ben Johnson leading the charts, you're 7-3. Listen, getting wins for this team is what matters ultimately, right? I think like the Bears just need it after the Mitch Trubisky era and then the Justin Fields era. And now Caleb Williams, who again, he's had an up and down season, but guiding that team to 7 wins and doing things that other head coaches haven't been able to do in over a decade, like good for Ben Johnson. So I think that's the better of the team. The Jets are the Jets, right? Like the Ravens are impressive. We all saw this coming, though, I think, with the Ravens. So I'm gonna have to go with Ben Johnson and the Bears rolling at 7-3.
Yep, we absolutely saw it coming with the Ravens, Joe. I think I crowned them as AFC North champions last week. Again, I'm going to stick with my claim that they might not lose until New Year's or at least Christmas time. So, with their game against the Jets, congrats to all parties involved there. But the Bears are exactly the better option here because of everything that you just said, right? Even with a defense that kind of lacks guys and has dealt with some injuries, Dennis Allen has them playing well enough to win games like they did yesterday. The special teams has played well enough. That kick return by Devin Duvernay to set up Cairo Santos's game-winning field goal is going to be one of the more underrated plays of the entire NFL season. So yes, going with the Bears here.
All right, boom. Last one that we have on the list here: Bryce Young throwing for 448 yards. Your feisty Panthers, your Carolina Panthers here, or Myles Garrett's 4 sack matchup. He's got like 10 sacks in his last 3 games. Which one's better in your estimation?
Yeah, Myles Garrett, first player in NFL history, at least since they've been keeping sacks as an official statistic, which was 1982, to have 6 straight seasons of 12 sacks or more. That's just unbelievable. But yeah, I gotta go with Bryce, man. He had, I think, 7 straight games of less than 200 passing yards, and then he comes back yesterday, gets injured in the first quarter with an ankle injury, and rips off a career best, and I think it's a Panthers record now for single game passing yards. Overtime win against a pretty good pass defense in the Atlanta Falcons. I know we've talked about them a couple times. Maybe they don't have that great of a pass defense if we keep talking about the quarterback performances against them. But yeah, I'm going with Bryce Young. Half game back in the NFC South now. My Panthers are not the Panthers.
Yeah,
My Panthers.
your Panthers, boom. You were first on this, right? You're first on this. But
If
listen,
you count
I'm gonna
3
have to.
years ago, yes.
I'm gonna have to go with you here, boom. I think like Bryce has been such an impossible quarterback to evaluate, right? Since he entered the league, like he looked flat out bad, right? Like we're talking about like Jamarcus Russell territory level bust. He was horrendous, right? Dave Canales comes in here, and you still get some of the inconsistencies with him. Like you can't seem to figure it out for the first 3 quarters, but suddenly Bryce Young turns into Joe Montana in the fourth, has been his reputation. So I'm going to have to give it to Bryce Young here too. The Panthers, like sticking with the guy this long, um, when other teams probably would have just cut bait and moved on at this point, like rewarding their faith in him, giving him the opportunity to really turn it around. We'll see if he can maintain it, if he can keep going. But shout out Dave Canales and co there for figuring him out and getting him moving in the right direction. I think the Panthers are probably like Myles Garrett's no slouch, right? And he's the best pass rusher in football, probably, if not top three. But I just think Bryce and that story there, we know with quarterbacks and how teams are so eager to move on or cut bait quickly. I think that's more impressive here. That's the better choice.